Welcome back to the Home of Horror podcast. Warning, this episode contains spoilers for the new Scream movie. And welcome back to the Home of Horror podcast. I'm your host, John. This is my co-host, Matt. Matt, say hi.
What is cracking?
We got a doozy for you, folks.
Always doozy.
First of all, I want to say, please like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on audio, you've been with us for a full 2 years. Video has only been 1 year, so the full 2 years have been to audio platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, just everywhere you can listen to the podcast on audio. We really appreciate you guys staying with us. We've gotten thousands of downloads. It's been brilliant, and we're still trying to build our YouTube page. So if you want video, please head on over to YouTube, New England Home of Horror. You can find us there. Like and subscribe, please. So yeah, we're pushing 2 years right now, man. This is pretty special.
2022.
2
years in.
Yeah, we started 2019 around December, I think it was. Yep. We've come a long way since then. Very happy to be here still, and happy to talk movies with you guys.
Yeah, and we wouldn't care if nobody was listening.
No, that's how we started, and that's how, if we had to keep it that way, we would. These are our conversations anyway.
Right, literally, yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. But thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. Today, for episode 32, I believe it is.
Another 2. Wow.
Yeah, we are talking about Scream 2022. So the brand new Scream movie. The first thing we want to say before we get into it is, please, if you have not seen the Scream movie, there are spoilers to this episode. So stop now.
Dewey's dead.
If you have not... If you have not seen...
You said stop now, dude. That should be
true.
enough time.
If you have not seen...
Why are you listening to a podcast about Scream if you haven't seen it?
If you have not seen Scream, please stop now and do not listen any further.
Yeah, because Dewey's dead.
Thank you.
So isn't Sydney.
We're going to have a thing way before this, but okay. So, for those of you who have seen the new Scream, we appreciate you joining us. Yeah, we're excited to get into this. So first of all, I just want to get in. We're going to keep this episode kind of short and sweet and just to the point, since we're literally filming this on the day or the second day that Scream came out. So this is Friday, January 14th.
Yeah.
Is this the 14th?
Yeah.
So it technically premiered yesterday.
Yeah.
But the big day is Scream Day is today. So we're putting this out now. We're going to keep it kind of short and sweet.
Yeah, you saw it like
to the
8 hours ago?
Yeah, I saw it at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So I mean,
so you saw it, yeah,
not that long ago. You had seen it the night before,
night, yep.
7 p.m. I think.
Yep.
So we just want to, give you guys what we, just our initial thoughts on this movie. So, Matt, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody listening what you liked, or whatever order you want to give it, what you liked and disliked about this movie.
I think there was a little to like, a lot to dislike for me. I know it's the same Scream as always. A little disappointed in that. I felt like it built you up to like maybe give you a twist. No, I'm not asking for an M. Night Shyamalan twist. That's not what I'm asking for.
Right.
The fact that they have done these movies over and over again and told you what they're going to do, I understand. I do not, it just wasn't, there's nothing there at the end. It just kind of ends. You know, it's another two people that just got introduced in the same movie.
Right.
You know, and it's the same thing over and over and over again. I also didn't like how many people survived in this movie. So many people leaving on gurneys and getting loaded into ambulances at the end of it. Just, if I'm going to watch a slasher, which I believe Ghostface is he the slasher of our generation? No, because it's a costume and not a person.
Right. Go into that a little bit more of how your Mount Rushmore and why you think Ghostface isn't on there.
Well, it's just because Ghostface isn't an entity. It is
Right.
he isn't a person, or he or she isn't a person. It's not one solid contributor. It's not Michael Myers. It's not Leatherface. It's not Victor Crowley. It's
Right.
not Chucky. It's not any of those it's not Candyman. It's not any of these people.
And
It's-
why?
Because it's a rollover every movie.
Right.
And
Never the same person.
you know, and I hope that at some point that changes.
Okay.
Will I get it? No, probably not, because that's not the way the Scream franchise works.
So that's like your big gripe.
It is my gripe. And like we were just talking to He's Crafty, and I 100% agree with him. I think there needs to be a Scream where we don't find out who Ghostface is, or where Ghostface wins.
Right.
There needs to be a moment in time where Sydney ends up dead in the kitchen, where Gail Weathers is dead in the kitchen, where all of these motherfuckers are dead in the kitchen, and Ghostface gets away with it. They stab each other, and they are the hero. And then they keep on, and they keep on killing.
And we get another
And
movie.
we get another one. You
and
know
you
what
don't
I mean?
necessarily figure out who that is.
Absolutely.
In the movie you're watching.
I think it would be so much. I went into it expecting something different this time.
Right.
I did.
Compared to what the
Compared to
older
what
movies had been.
The first four had been.
Right.
And maybe that was on me.
Mhm.
Because they told me it wasn't going to be any different. But that's also what made me believe, look over here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to do something over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was my whole issue with it. Not enough people dead. Not enough twists. Not enough shock factor. I know you did get the one shock factor moment with Dewey, but
Yeah.
I felt like you kind of saw it coming. Dewey's been almost killed in every fucking movie.
Right.
Every fucking movie. I mean, like, honestly. He's been close to death in every movie, and it was time that old bastard finally fucking died.
Right.
It was an honor.
It was an honor. It was an honor.
So overall, 6.7. 6.7
So
for me.
do you put this last on the Scream movie scale?
No.
You put this in front of what?
3.
3. So you go 1, 2, 4, new 1, 3. Or,
Probably either 1, 2, 4 or 1, 4, 2.
Okay.
It's those two are kind of a toss up.
Right.
But 3 is certainly the least for me.
Right.
It was just it wasn't enough. There wasn't enough
I agree with that.
in there.
I agree with 3 being the worst of the franchise.
I think the only thing that gave me hope at the end of this, because I was really hoping Stu was. I really did. I really hoped
thought
that
he was
Stu
coming back.
would come back. They brought it up in the beginning with the question of who was the killer in the first stab, and she goes, Billy Loomis. Billy Loomis. No, it was Stu and Billy Loomis and his partner Stu.
Right.
You know, so they really Stu was brought up a few times.
Yeah.
Through the movie.
Now, do you put that past them for future movies if they decide to do it?
I hope not, because
Now,
I would love to see Stu come back with a scarred up face and like he broke out of prison.
Obviously, he's been hit by the TV landing on him, but that doesn't necessarily
doesn't mean he's dead.
Right.
Doesn't mean he's dead. He was electrocuted.
And we obviously get Skeet Ulrich in this movie.
Yep.
Do you think that we see... Would this make it up a little bit if it was a play to possibly bring back?
I would love that.
You would love that.
If this was a play to
But
bring,
it would take a few movies to do that
probably,
in order to bring you to appreciate this era of Scream movies.
In the end, where Billy's daughter Sam,
yeah,
where she stabs the shit out of the fucking Ghostface or fucking boyfriend or whatever,
right,
and she wipes the knife at the end.
Yes.
It gave me hope.
Yeah, which is the only time it happens.
In that moment of time, where we're going to see another Scream in the future.
Yes.
That she's obviously going to be a final girl or a Scream queen or however you want to, because they're setting her up to be
either a Scream queen or the ultimate villain, right?
Or the ultimate villain, where she will end up becoming Ghostface because she is the
daughter
of a serial killer.
You would have to have some beautiful writing in order to do that.
100%.
But it could be done.
It could be done.
Right.
That would make me like this movie even more too, because it's almost the beginning of an origin story.
Right.
Where this is the beginning of her journey.
Right. Well, it's like Halloween 2018, where it's like, hey, now we have Billy Loomis's daughter versus fucking Sidney Prescott, like for all the cards, you know what I mean? Right, that would be great. For me, I loved this movie. Me and you disagree on this movie.
No. No.
I thought this was a love letter to Scream fans, especially regarding to the first one. I thought this was done very well. I thought the sarcasm and the satire and the symbolism was all great. I think bringing back Billy Loomis as a character, just in the form of a mental instability by his daughter, was brilliant. And they didn't deep fake Billy at all. It was Skeet Ulrich completely. I thought that was brilliant. I thought, the comedy was there.
There was some really funny moments in this movie.
Yeah, there was.
David Arquette had some really good one-liners.
I thought that the beginning scene, and here's where I think most Scream fans won't be happy with the opening scene. I think that the intro is probably on the lower side compared to the other movies.
I would agree. Did the voice seem off to you at the beginning?
Yeah, and I think obviously that plays into effect with the new...
Oh my god.
The new tone or the new technology as far as the voice changer goes.
I hated it.
I think everybody will hate it that's not born in 2000. You know what I mean? It's just you want the voice changer, which they do bring it back.
They do bring it back.
But they do have the new technology where, hey, you just press the throat and you get the new voice changer.
Yeah. That was a little odd.
I get. It makes it a little bit easier to pull off some of the kills that they had.
Yeah, and you have a face-to-face and you can speak.
Right. And it was a little bit easier to pull off, like, hey, I'm in the same room as you, but I'm talking on the phone.
Right.
It pulled off some easier things as far as kills go or attacks go in this movie, which is fine, whatever. It's the new age. But people my age, I'm 32, we're used to the nice voice changer. So it's a little bit different, but that's okay. I understand. Just like they said about the original movie, it's hip, it's scary, it's hip. I get it. You need that hip you need those hip characters, those hip actors and actresses. So I get that. That's fine. Yeah, I thought that the kill scene was in the intro scene was a little. It's probably wasn't the best, but I did like that they threw in these artsy kind of movies. Hereditary, The Witch, The Babadook.
Ugh.
Where you kind of just hated this besides The Witch, because The Witch is unbelievable.
The Witch is great. I actually liked Hereditary too.
Yeah, Hereditary is good as well. But when she throws but still like artsy films where like The Witch, as good as it is a period film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you understand where the art comes from with that. Hereditary,
Great.
obviously, with the story, it's artsy a little bit with Ari Aster and just his development as a director with that and Midsummer, and then obviously the Babadook, which it's very just all symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was funny, where I really think that if you were a younger generation, you would have taken it as, hey, she's mentioning all the movies that I love. And then if you're an older generation like me and you, it's like, hey, they're making fun of all the movies that we don't give a shit about, right?
Yeah.
Even though me and you are very high on The Witch and
Yes,
pretty high on Hereditary, still put certain movies like the whodunit movies in front of that sometimes.
Right.
I thought that was cool. It was kind of like the split of the generation. It's like, hey, you're watching it in the theater and we're going to split the crowd right down the middle already.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. One thing I did not like about the movie was I hated the ending line of her. Obviously, at this point, we know, if you're watching this, we know that she is the daughter of Billy Loomis, which is hilarious because she's Sam Carpenter. Hilarious, right?
Right.
Billy Loomis, Sam Carpenter. Sam Loomis. Fucking hilarious. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but just the fact that they picked those two last names is funny.
Right.
I hated that the last line she gives is don't fuck with a serial killer's daughter. It's like, what does that even mean? I don't know what the fuck that means. You force that so hard.
Cool.
When in the other, we get shit like don't fuck with the original. We get not in my movie. We get iconic lines like that.
Right.
In this one, we didn't get that iconic line at the end. I'm willing to part with that because I liked the characters. I liked that it was hip and scary, as the old one was portrayed. I'm with you on this. I don't watch the Scream movies to be wowed by the killer. The reveal of the killers.
Right.
I don't really care about that,
right.
except for the first one. It was great.
Yeah.
Fourth one was pretty good.
Fourth one was good too, yeah. They did a good job in the fourth one.
But other than that, I don't really care about being wowed by who the killer is. I think in 2 and 3, and even 4 a little bit, I wasn't like wowed by who the killer was, because by then you understand that it's going to be in the group of friends,
Right.
It's just kind of played out for you in their sarcasm and their irony and their symbolism and metaphors for what the rules of horror. You know what I mean? There were some really cool scenes as far as Randy's, his
in the Stab movies.
Yeah,
like Randy's scene in the Stab movies being played by, I don't even fucking know who it was.
Right.
It was like, turn around. My God, they same set.
Yeah.
Same clothes.
Shot for shot, which was really cool.
That was really cool.
And just the fact that their use of the word stab movie is really based on, it's really for the older generation, like me and you, who are like, okay, you're saying stab, but you mean Scream.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're really talking about Scream. And then they use it's like Stab, true story, and it's got a picture of Billy Loomis up on the screen when they're talking, and it's like, that's from the movie Scream.
Exactly.
That's literally a still shot. So it's like from Scream.
It's always backtracking and bringing you back to the original, which I thought was great. And the satire's there, and
I love
the sarcasm's there.
One part that I literally laughed out loud on was when David Arquette, Dewey, he really, he's gonna get back, and he's gonna help these kids find out who the killer is, and we gotta get all your group of friends together because obviously one of them's the killer, and he calls it from the beginning who the killer is.
He does too,
and literally the first thing he says, he's right, and then when somebody says something about it, he's like, damn. You could be the killer because you cut me deep.
Yeah.
I literally just started laughing.
He's like, that cut me deep.
That cut me deep.
He's like, you, the ex-sheriff? In love with the ex fucking,
Yeah.
news reporter.
Yeah, the ex-star.
Right.
Who got lost in a bottle, lost your
Right.
job,
He's
all
like,
this.
that cut me deep.
Maybe you are the killer.
It cut me too deep, man.
You got me.
Seriously,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
Why?
Great.
Why
Great.
couldn't we just get Stu?
You might. You never know. You might.
God.
Yeah, I just thought that was cool. And I think the survival of characters, to what you were saying, maybe it portrays more in the sequels. If they do any more, maybe all these characters die. Who knows? Maybe they're setting up. Maybe they think they're the next, set of characters. I don't know.
Maybe
We'll have to see.
if half of them don't die, if that's the case, and half of them don't die in the next movie,
Right.
I'm
one thing I wanted to mention that I thought was really great and emotional and will always live on, no matter if people think it's a bad movie or a good movie, is one of the characters' names was Wes.
Yeah.
And at the end we get that party. And the words at the end hanging up in the living room were "For Wes." I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Really good idea. Pay homage to the original.
Yeah.
No one will ever be Wes Craven.
Nope.
No one will ever be John Carpenter. So it's really cool to pay homage and just let these youngins know who ran the game and who always will, and all your ideas, whether you like them or not, will be a mimic of what these guys have done for the horror genre. And it will probably never be duplicated. So,
no.
you know?
I have to ask you, if you gave this movie an 8.
Yeah.
What
8.
would you give the original?
Oh, man. I think we'll find that out on our next episode, right? I'll give a rating for it for our next episode because we're doing our top 10 for our 2-year anniversary. We'll make sure we talk about it then for sure.
All right.
All
sounds
right.
good.
What do you give it?
Maybe we'll find out on the next episode.
All right. Sounds good.
I mean, I'm
well, not the original. This movie.
This movie 6-7.
Okay.
I wanted to. I truly wanted to love this movie.
Yeah,
I truly did.
I'm baffled that you didn't.
I truly wanted to love this movie, and I'm
just excited. Didn't. What this does for me is I'm an optimistic guy. You know that.
I know.
I'm excited to see what movie excites you next because I really truly don't know.
I mean, what was the last good horror movie? Like we just watched Antlers.
I don't know.
We were just talking about Antlers. We were both super excited about Antlers, and I was disappointed in that one.
I was a little disappointed as well.
You liked it a little more than I did, but
but it's more for my love for Guillermo.
Agreed.
His monster making, but it wasn't. It was more me forcing that I wanted to like it than actually liking it, which is super disappointing because I think a lot was cut out from that movie. Mm-hmm. But that's for another time.
I mean, I want something. I want something to really.
Yeah, I'm interested. What I'm interested in is what that next movie is. I really want to know.
I mean, what was the last good movie?
Because it's been a long time since for a new movie for you that has really.
I liked The Dark and the Wicked.
But that was what, 2019?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to go back to
nothing in 2020.
I'm trying to find.
That might have been 2020.
That might have been 20.
But nothing in 2021. Like you weren't even a huge fan of Halloween Kills.
No,
like you liked it, but you weren't as hyped as I thought that you were. Like you were pumped for that movie.
I was.
So there hasn't been a movie in a really long time since 2018 that I've really seen you be like, okay, that lived up to what it was supposed to be.
I guess I need to stop listening to the hype. I need to go into things cold.
Well, no, I don't think it's listening to the hype. I think you're doing the opposite. I think you're just a realist, right? You're saying, hey, I'm not going to be persuaded by, because it's really easy with like Halloween Kills and this new Scream movie and Antlers, stuff like that, which you buy into the hype, but I think it is really easy to be like, okay, since that hype carried me this far, I'm gonna just roll with it and be like, yeah, I liked that movie.
Loved it.
You know, so I think it takes a little bit more to be like, you know what? It is really hard to be like, I didn't like same thing with me and Antlers. Like I thought Antlers was going to be the best of 2021. That was putting it above. No, we didn't put it above Halloween Kills, but we were like, it's going to be Halloween Kills right and Antlers, and it wasn't. Like I thought Malignant was better than Antlers. Probably.
Agreed. I would watch Malignant before I watched Antlers
which
again.
is sad to say, but it's like if you're gonna be true to what you think, and we'll get into that with our next episode when we talk about our top 10. If you're gonna be true to what you believe in this day and age, you know, and it's always gonna change, which is fine. That's the whole point of cinema and being a cinephile and loving movies and stories. It's always gonna change, right? That's what you hope for. You don't hope that nothing will change the past. You want things to change the past.
Right.
It's just you need it to be unique and thought-provoking. So I think that's the whole point. And I think it's a good thing that, you know, if you really didn't like I think a lot of people will look at this Scream movie, and if they didn't like it, they'll still say, they'll go with the hype, you know? They'll be like, I was so hyped up for it that I don't want to admit to myself that I didn't like it.
I think a lot of people like to read reviews. Right. And see what other people think of it, and then say, "Oh yeah, it was pretty good."
Right.
Whereas I'm like, I don't give a shit what you thought of it. It wasn't what I thought it would be. It wasn't what I wanted. Because
realistically, it doesn't change anything. It's realistically, you know, 2 out of the 5 Scream movies you didn't love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good, man. Shit.
It's pretty good.
It's better than
Friday the 13th.
It's better than Friday the 13th. It's better than Halloween, obviously.
Better than Nightmare on Elm Street.
What did you like about Halloween? 3 movies?
Yeah, maybe 4.
Maybe 4? Still right there, you know?
4 or 5.
Saw movies? What did you like, 2 or 3?
All of them.
The Saw movies? I hope
I
not.
love gore porn, dude.
I like maybe 3 of those. I actually loved Spiral. I thought it was really good. So
I still got to see Spiral. So I'll have to check out Spiral.
Yeah, I don't think you'll think it's good.
Oh, damn it.
I think it was great.
Did I call it that the Chinese cop was the bad guy?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Not even close. But we're going to wrap that up. And obviously we have different point of views of this movie. I loved it. You didn't love it so much.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
No, that's okay.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it.
Plus, we're basing off a scale of some serious movies here. So, hey, who knows? 10 years from now, you might be like, hey, that was better than I fucking thought because they put out 3 more.
Right.
And it was better than those
Scream 5.
Yeah. Compared to, you know,
Scream 7, 8, 9.
Right. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, like and subscribe to YouTube if you're listening. Thank you if you're on our audio, you know, platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, all those good things. You guys keep us going. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Episode 33 coming soon. Let's do it.
Cheers to you, motherfuckers.
Cheers.
And may the power of Christ compel you.
Love you guys.
Later.
Home of horror, the Home of Horror podcast. Home of horror, the Home of Horror podcast. So that's your 3rd Stephen King?
Don't start with me, dude.
I bet they spent less than $50,000 on that movie.
$252,000.
Oh wow, really? Home of